DNA Video Productions is a full-service video producer with a fleet of drones, 4K, and HD cameras, as well as a crew of video operators. We handle commercial and residential real estate videos, as well as events for promotional purposes. We create book trailers, both live-action and running stills, music videos, and website videos. We also film series shorts for online distribution and are currently involved in filming a political parody. We specialize in low-cost movie making. Call DNA Video Productions at 941-748-6865 or visit our website at www.dnavideoproductions.com. That's www.dnavideoproductions.com. Thank you. Our sponsor this month is Published, an affiliate of Village Voices. Published offers all author services from writing tips, critiques, manuscript evaluations, and editing, as well as tips to help you become published. If you prefer to self-publish, purchase the step-by-step book on publishing through Amazon, or purchase services a la carte, from formatting to creating custom covers, or even tips to gather endorsements. The staff is headed by 2 professional writers. After your books are published, either trade paper, electronically, or both, purchase marketing tips, web services, book trailers, or turn your book into an audiobook. Publish provides all your writing, publishing, and marketing needs. So give them a call at 941-748-6865. Contact them online at dgould497@aol.com, or go to the website at www.publishedavillagevoices.webs.com. Afternoon. Welcome to Culture Coast. The intro you just heard was by Al Musitano, and today we are interviewing Susan Shane. She is an artist of multiple different medias. She's currently working in glass with mixed media and mosaic arts, fused glass, and much more. She is also a photographer of quite a few years. So let's get started. Hi, Susan.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. Now, when you were growing up, is anybody in your family an artist?
Yes.
All right, who is that?
That was my mother. Growing up, she was always very artistic. My brother actually got a degree in art at Maryland College of Art and Design.
What was he interested in?
Drawing. Pen and ink drawing was his specialty.
He's a painter and...
Well, not a painter so much as a pen and ink.
Pen and ink?
Drawer. A lot of detail with the pen and ink.
Did he go into graphic arts? What did he do?
He ended up working for IBM, and he's working for, I think, one of the big... He doesn't use
his art?
No. Just at home and with his architecture.
And your mother was a hobbyist, or was she?
Yeah, hobbyist.
She was a hobbyist. But first, and you, when did you start
realizing?
I
started growing up in, I started doing art, always did art growing up, and then branched out as I got a little bit older, and then realized...
High school?
Yeah, I did really pretty good in high school. And then, real life sets in and you set things on the back burner.
So what did you do in real life when you first got out of school? Were you a waitress? I mean, what did we do?
No, I got married and had babies.
All right, that was what a lot of us did, but I was just curious. And so
no, I was just a housewife and, a mother. And
did art with the kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so when did you finally start following the path to your passion? I think you said you started in photography, or was it
I've
art?
always been interested in photography. But I moved to Europe, London, just outside of London in 1999. And over a period of a few years, I took a more involved interest in photography, especially during travel, and just developed it from there. I do a lot of underwater photography. And I also did make it to Kenya in the Masai Mara and did quite a bit of photography there as well.
So underwater photography, how do you don't go to school for that. How do you learn underwater photography?
You read. And basically what I did is we started out with the little Ixus 100 Canon cameras, and you buy an underwater housing for that. And you wouldn't think that they don't take good pictures underwater, but they really do. And then I moved up to like a PowerShot G12 in a housing. I don't do the big, $10,000 camera type photography.
Well, yeah,
just a little
we're
plastic.
Not
and I'll tell you what, you don't need that. You really don't need that for underwater photography. All you need is a nice bridge camera with a housing.
Have you seen the new GoPro underwater cameras?
I have heard about them, but no.
Okay,
no,
I just
that's
wondered because they're not that pricey, and they are doing some pretty cool shots under there with them. I was very impressed. So you did the photography. Did you ever do it professionally, or was it just
No.
it was just as a major hobby?
Right.
Okay. Now then you got involved in learning about glass. What first incited your interest there?
I don't know. I've just always been real creative. I tried porcelain and pottery restoration, and then I took a course in gold and silver leaf gilding, and then I decided to do a course with a world-famous mosaic artist named Martin Cheek in Kent, at his home in Kent, and I did that, and then I took his next course with mosaics incorporating glass fusing pieces, and that's how I was introduced to glass fusing. So I just took it from there.
So you started with simple courses and just, well, I wouldn't say simple if you're with a world-class artist, but you're just a single course at a time and built on that. And as you learn more, you reached out for learning more.
Right. Now, I didn't learn the details of how to fire or, the physics of glass in the slightest. And
right,
how
you didn't go
worked.
into a regular
We just
college.
cut glass, stacked it up, and he took care of fusing and all that. So all the technical know-how as far as programming the kilns and all that with the fusing, that's basically a trial and error.
Something you're still working on?
You learn every day.
Okay.
You do, and so it's
and get burned
fun.
a little bit in the process.
No, because you don't go in there when it's
and
1,400 degrees.
If you do, you're going to learn real fast.
no.
All right. So now you come back to the States, and tell us how did you come immediately here? Or
I
somewhere
came out last January 2015 to see if I liked the area. My whole family's up in Maryland, and a few over on the West Coast as well. So I came out here in January. I really liked it, and a couple months later, I just moved over lock, stock, and barrel. And the funniest thing happened to me. It's very serendipity. I walked into a clothes store and started talking to a lady about what I did, and she goes, "Well, I know a lady who knows a lady who knows a lady who runs a glass studio." I was like, "Okay." So
this is here in Sarasota.
Like a week after I arrived. So we made plans. We met up at the studio at Sarasota School of Glass down off of Clark Road, and she offered me a job on the spot running the kilns there. So that's what I'm at today, running her kilns for her while she has her classes and getting the pieces in and out and to the students in a
So
timely
you have
fashion.
a day job, but
Right.
it's in the field that you love.
It's
And
not
that-
like really a job at all.
And
so.
then you get to, well, it is a job because you're getting a paycheck for it, but it's not in the sense that it's exactly where you love to work. And that also gives you an opportunity to use their equipment to do your work.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of the bigger pieces, yes, because I only have a small 14 by 14 kiln. So anything larger than that, I can put
Use
it
their
in,
stuff.
use their kiln. But they work with System 96. I'm not going to go into COE about glass, but it's a different COE. I work with Bullseye out of Portland. Their glass
All right,
is
so now
something
we're going to
more.
talk a little bit about glass because
Okay.
I'm sure many of our listeners have no idea what you're
Okay.
talking about when you talk about fused glass. Tell us a little bit about what is fused glass.
Fused glass is glass specifically designed and produced to be able to fuse together pieces at high temperatures.
So they melt. So
they
they're
melt
melted
together, and the higher you go, obviously, the more it melts and that kind of thing.
And
so
if you go too high, it'll just be a blob.
right, well, the kilns don't really go up that high. I mean, you can put scrap in a big, like a terracotta pot with holes in the bottom, and really crank it up and get a beautiful pop melt from that. Where all the glass colors, I've done a few of those. So
That
yeah,
almost sounds interesting.
it's not free form like hand blown glass. You put your piece in, you fuse it together, and then after it's cooled, you take it, you either put it on top of a mold or over a stainless steel mold, and you take the temperature back up, but not as hot, and it melts a bit, and it slumps.
that shape.
It's called slumping. So
That's called slumping when you put it
Slumping.
over a mold and
it slumps into
into
the
the shape
mold
of the
or
mold.
over the mold. Yes.
That sounds
So-
that sounds like such a terrible name for what comes out as beautiful, beautiful pieces.
Yeah.
They need to find a better name for that. I don't know, something. Anyway, okay, so you also talked about powdered glass. How does that
Yeah.
work? What is that about?
Well, I don't really specifically want to get into the details
No,
on
they
how
would
to
understand
do
but
it.
what is it?
What it is you take a piece of fiber, a thick fiber, and you basically sprinkle powder on top.
Sprinkled powdered glass?
Yes, which is ground glass. So glass comes in powder form, small size frit, medium size frit, and then the large size frit. So you have different coarse like sand.
Sand
courses.
is grit. Sand is grit and glass is frit. That's huge.
No, but I mean, it's you have different sizes of this
Right,
stuff.
grains,
So
different
the
size grains.
right. So the powder is sift. You have to wear a mask and everything when you're
So you don't
sifting.
breathe it.
Yeah, you
Ooh,
don't
would
breathe
be
that in.
terrible.
But you sift it over and you throw it in the kiln and cook it really high, and then add more powdered glass.
And it fuses to the fiber. It kind
Yeah,
of melts into the fibers.
Well, it separates. So if there's any gap or openings in there, it'll separate the. It's hard to explain, and then if you can research it online, I'm sure there's lots of pics on fiber paper and powder technique with this.
So
And
that's
then
really
you just, after you do the first fusing, you can add a second color into where the spaces have separated to really give it a good pop or boost, and then cap
Yeah.
it with a piece of glass, and then it's very involved, but it's a very organic way of working with glass because you're making things. You can put the design in like you were painting if you wanted to.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you can get exactly the picture that you want.
Well, not exactly because glass is unpredictable, but you can everything. It's a very unpredictable medium, but you can do your own design, like if you're your own drawing in that.
If you wanted to do a bird, you could do
Yes,
a bird shape
exactly.
or-
You would just put your powder out, take a metal skewer, and sketch yourself out a bird over the powder, and then fire it. And where you had sketched with that rod,
will be a little gap. And
there'll be a
that's where-
gap, which will leave you an outline, which you can then add a contrasting color into that.
Beautiful.
But it has to be
So
capped.
that ends up looking a little bit like stained glass, right?
Correct. Yes, it's not.
It gives it that look.
Yeah, it
No,
can
but-
do. It depends on if you use an opaque glass, which is a solid colored glass powder, or if you use a translucent glass powder. The problem is, if you go too translucent, when you hold it up, it looks insipid. So you don't,
it needs some of that opaqueness
to make it pop. Yes,
that's
yes,
really cool.
yeah.
So we just talked about stained glass and fused glass.
Well, no, not stained glass.
Well, no, I know, but we just mentioned that
Yeah,
it's
it does
another
look
glass.
like it. It does.
It's another type of glassware.
Yeah.
And what else do we have? We have stained, fused. You mentioned the blown glass.
Yeah, I don't do any of that.
No, I know. Yeah, that takes a whole different skills and tools and everything. And you do the fused and
Mosaics.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll be right back after this. And we're back. So we've talked about the different kinds of glass and your.
I run Sue Cut now owns the studio, and she runs classes. So people come in for a couple hours, and they'll put glass
So
down.
you're working at the
Yeah,
glass.
I go ahead and I fire the kilns. So I program the kilns, I fire the glass, and then I slump the glass. I don't actually teach.
Now, where you are at home, you have your own studio, so
Yeah.
you make your glass at home for the most part, and then if it's something big, you might take it into their kilns to
Yeah,
fire.
because they have
Now,
bigger
do you
kilns.
teach it at all at home?
No, I'd like to. I don't have the facilities or the kiln to teach glass fusing, but I would love to teach mosaics, mixed media mosaics. I do many different types, so if people were interested in learning. It's because
It's hard to find a group that...
yeah,
at the
I mean,
same
it's
time.
like three, the shortest workshop would be like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, from like 10 to 5 with an hour lunch. Give them time to, do their design and pick their material and at least, apply, and might even be able to finish it, and that kind of thing. So if not, they would definitely go away with the supplies and the know-how
to know what
to
do finish.
Yeah, or to do another project.
Yeah. Now, you said that you started back in porcelain and
Pottery
restoration.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you did show me one beautiful, beautiful piece that you made from some. What kind of glass was that?
It was Meissen porcelain.
Meissen porcelain.
Yeah, that I had
So-
bought to repair, and I never got around to doing it.
But you did turn it into something else.
Yes, I smashed all the pieces up, and I did a mirror surround with figurines and old sugar
When you say
balls.
you smashed it very carefully.
Yeah, I tried to, but I just worked
I'm
with what
saying,
it
you didn't
gave
just go,
me.
oh heck, and break it. You
I put it
actually-
in a towel and just hit it with a hammer, really.
and made
And I used the mosaic nippers to cut off the legs and the arm.
the pieces that were
Yeah, I
still,
tried. Yeah,
that were
yeah.
still good. And then you do something so that there's no sharp edges
I
whatsoever.
take them over the grinder, the sharp broken
so
piece.
nobody's going to get cut.
Yeah, so if they
picking up
want
one
to
of
touch
these.
it, because they're quite, it's 3-dimensional and quite tactile, the mirror surrounds, so that way they can touch it and just get up close. And
It was an amazing piece. Do you have others like that, or was
no,
that
that
one
was
of a
the
kind?
only,
'Cause-
that was the only ceramic piece I've done. So, but
and you don't have any more mice to break
I've
up?
got a little cherub that he's just too cute to smash up, so I'm not smashing him up,
Okay.
even though he's missing a finger.
And did you ever work in the restoration field?
No, just my own thing, and no, I didn't do that.
Okay.
I know how to do it now, so if I break something at home,
You could fix it.
yeah.
And
I
if
can
somebody
fix
else
it.
breaks something, they could bring it to you and go, "Oh, can you help?
Yeah.
My favorite coffee mug broke."
Yeah, it's just that I don't do the invisible mending, which requires airbrush painting. So you would see, but it would be put together like a museum quality repair.
Right. All right. So, where do you see this taking you in the future?
Well, what I'd love to do is I would love to have, just small little workshops and just start introducing people to the mosaics world and the different mediums that,
So
are
your
involved in that.
Your
and-
big thing is you want to teach it.
Yeah, the mosaics. I
The
would
mosaics.
love to have workshops where people would come over during the day.
Now, what about selling your own art
Well, I'd love to do that as well.
at the same time?
Well, I'm not during my workshop.
No, not during the workshop. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You have to buy one of my pieces if you want to be in my workshop.
And no. So yeah, oh yeah, I definitely would like to do that as well.
So a working studio. Where
And
you
I'd love to
teach
put
and
pieces into some galleries and things like that.
any art shows, maybe.
Well, as I'm down here by myself, it's quite difficult for me to get the tent and put that, and most of those shows are juried, and you have to do all that up beforehand to see. And I was just hoping that eventually I could do something like that. But
we have a lot of art shows around the area in Florida. It's got so many, and it's great having you on the Culture Coast. Now, if somebody wants to see your work, where do you have a website presence, an online presence?
I'm actually on Facebook. I have a Facebook, Serena's Glass Art.
Now, how do you spell Serena?
Okay, that's a take on my first and middle name, which is Susan Renee. So it's SUERENAS Glass Art.
Glass art. So is that all one word, or is there a space between S and glass? Okay.
It's the Facebook page. So
And when you say hyphen, you're talking about the little hyphen.
apostrophe, I mean.
Apostrophe. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Sorry.
Susan's with an apostrophe on the before that last S, and glass art. Now,
Correct.
do you have the area there? Do they have to put in Bradenton or Sarasota?
I think it's Sarasota.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you just if you're on Facebook, just do Serena's Glass Art and it should pop right up.
Okay. Now, that being said, do you have your own website yet?
No.
And what about Pinterest or?
Oh yeah, I'm on Pinterest.
Same
When I first started in Pinterest, they weren't very keen on self-promotion. And you're not, as you know, anybody familiar with Pinterest, you can't actually pin from Facebook. So I had a Flickr account and I uploaded a few pieces. But I mostly use that for design ideas and landscaping ideas, or, other people's mosaics or glass art.
Now, you had a piece of wind chime.
Mm-hmm.
That was made for outdoors. It's made for the sunlight to glisten through it.
Yeah.
Do you do other outdoor pieces, garden work at all?
Yes, I've done a few pots, and I would love to, that's another workshop I would love to teach, get some terracotta pots and get all kinds of, glass beads and tile and that kind of thing, and people can do
Sounds
that.
like you're going to have a lot of work ahead of you if you get these classes all together.
Oh, it'd be great. I've got all the supplies.
Just no place to have the classes.
Well, I can have the classes at my house, but I'm limited to about 6 people, I would think,
Yeah,
for the workshop.
Sounds like a
it's
lot
a
of
pretty
fun.
roomy area I got to work with.
Well, then that might be a really good way to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
And you're going to be showing some of your work at some of the upcoming art walks in the Village of the Arts at Village Voices.
Yes, I'm good to do that.
You may leave a few pieces there over the months that you're going to be doing the art walk, so people can come in and see your work.
Yes, that would be
and examples
fantastic.
of your works. And
Correct. And yeah, that'd
or
be
they
great.
might even be able to sign up for classes.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, if they're
And your
if they
classes
don't-
would be on the weekends.
Yeah, probably Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think would be best. I mean, if there's any
Well,
women
that's best
that
for most
don't.
working people.
Well, I can actually do it during the week too. If I get enough women that might want to come in, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. During the day when the kids are in school.
What about for those that have to work on Fridays? Would they be able to do like a 2-weekend class? 2 weekends in a row and be able to get something finished?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, ongoing classes is something that I could look into with people's projects. Most people want to take their projects, but if they wanted to, they could leave and then come back and work on it. That's something that I need to look into.
And how to
further.
work that out.
Yeah, but I think for the most part, it would be 3-day or even a 2-day workshop, Saturday and Sunday.
Something
I could
smaller.
something smaller, maybe a 6x6 or, 8x10. They could possibly do it in that time.
And if they want to contact you, do you have a email address or somewhere that they can get you?
Yes, they can. They can contact me at Serena, which is SUERENAS na@gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's similar to your Facebook page.
Yeah, it's just the name, the first name's the same.
Okay. So it's Surena at gmail.com.
Correct.
And I really appreciate you being on Culture
Thank
Coast
you,
and
Dawn.
telling us about glass art and a little bit about the photography. And I know
Thank
it was
you.
unexpected, but I really appreciate it. Thank you for being
All
with
right.
us.
Thank you so much, Donna.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nightmares. Frightful visions during the night, causing terror and loss of sleep. Daymares. Frightful visions during the day, causing fear and paranoia. Gothmares. Gothic visions that can happen anytime, causing horror and disgust. But sometimes they offer answers. Read Gothmares if you dare. Gothmares, a young adult novel by Al Musitano, available on Amazon and fine bookstores everywhere.
Village of the Arts, the largest artist colony in the state of Florida, located on 42 acres, includes artists, homes, galleries, gardens, and restaurants featuring handcrafted gifts, fine art sculptures, painting, photography, enviro art, healing arts, books, mystics, and musical variety. A few of the galleries are unique in their offerings. Village Voices specializes in books and art created exclusively by Florida residents. The Dancing Crane Gallery offers fine art, custom jewelry, and unique, innovative art. The Village Mystic offers all things metaphysical: meditation, massage, mediums, aromatherapy, psychics, shamans, Reiki healing, and the gem mine, where you can mine for your own personal treasure. Yoga Arts offers classes or one-on-one coaching. Musicians and bands can be found throughout the area. Many of the artists and musicians offer classes. Restaurants and bakeries provide respite for the weary and magic for the foodies. Visit during the first Friday Art Walk and stroll through the shops and galleries enjoying free appetizers, wine, music, and demonstrations. For hours and information, please visit the website at www.villageofthearts.com.